So today it's a bank holiday Monday and the sky is almost nice. So what I'm going to try and do is sort out my front brakes. Now my front brakes are back working again, but you can see there's the connector splitter is in the wrong place and it's not standard. Plus I've got these awful blue cables. Now what I'd like to do is change them for actual proper braided lines. But first what I need to do is get the original setup on there with the Y piece, which I've managed to pick up off the internet. So this allows me to go through the headstock to connect everything up correctly. And then from there, at least I'll have the correct routing of all the cables. And what I can do at a later point is go out, take this down to somewhere like Wemoto and get braided lines made up. So first job is to see if I can take the old ones off and reconnect everything up. Let's give that a go. I'm hoping to do this without taking off the fairings, but no, my luck, I'll end up having to take the fairings off anyway. So let's see how we get on. Alright, slight update on the brake fitting. Things have escalated. Turns out, to get this Y piece through steering stem, you need the correct steering stem. Lucky enough, I did have one. Because I got an entire front end, which was a good choice. Now the problem is I didn't realise you needed a different steering stem, so that's lucky, but to get it I had to take off the entire front end. So I'm now working my way through getting that reassembled so I can then reconnect up the brakes. It is not an easygoing task. I mean, no one really tells you how difficult some of these things are, because you see it on the internet and you think that's going to take 2 seconds to drop out. Getting the bloody triple trees swapped across so I can have a different steering stem, absolute nightmare. Oh yeah, want to point that out. This is the original steering stem I have, which looks like is for one which doesn't have the brake lane going through. So there's a slight pinch point just about here where it gets a little bit tight, so you can't shove it through. Also, there's a notch in the bottom of this steering stem, so convenient enough I had everything I needed because I got the whole front end, so I swapped that all across. But again, that took a fair old period of time and a lot of struggling, but now I should be good to bleed. So hopefully all I've got to do now is bleed. I don't really know if that's going to go as well as last time. If it does, I'm just going to be here for hours bleeding and I won't get to do anything else, but we'll see. Right, I'll drop me back in once I've got to that point. Okay, well, I'm got the brakes doing a self-bleed kind of thing. I'm working on the wiring around the front here. Just mounted up my two horns. They both work, so I've tested them out. What I need to do now is take this massive bullet, clean it up. I've marked off, these are my two indicators, I know that. That green here is a ground, that's my understanding. And this here is my, I believe, live to the horns. So I'm going to try and get that wired up first and see if I can route it through this here just to make it nice and neat. As you can see from the carnage, I've moved on to wiring. I've now got the horns hooked up and indicator wiring on both sides ready to go. And I've tested that and that does work. This carnage still needs to be addressed. Next up is trying to get a connector sorted from all of this to my mating light, and I've got a horrible feeling this one just here, which was connected into the headlight bucket, is probably for the side light or parking light, and I'm not sure what that one is, so this will be fun. Alright, now if you'll excuse the mess of wiring, everything is now wired up, so I've left the indicators off, but now it's my dipped beam. There we go. Have I got the dip beam that wrong way round? Might have the dip beam the wrong way round, but I can always swap that if necessary. But in theory, I have lights. So that's made me quite happy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm running out of daylight, so I'm just going to pack everything back up, put it on the bike, and come back at this another day. But for now, I have lights. Alright, so for now I've just zip tied a few of the things down these channels until I decide about where, first of all, finding out where the side light is, so that comes on correctly. And then also testing this out. So I'm going to reconnect everything back up now. Put in the brake master reservoir, which still needs bleeding. So I'm going to spend the rest of the day, I think, just tapping away at my brakes, bleeding them. But for now, it's still messy, but indicators, headlight, horns, it's all there now. So we'll be getting some progress finally. The problem I've got is I run out of daylight really quickly. It's going to take me about an hour or so to get everything put away, so I want to get everything put back away, sorted out. But for now, I've got my horn, I've got my lights, I've got my indicators, I've got a little bit to do on the indicator inside, because on the indicator housings, the bulb is a little bit dodgy connection, so I'm going to sort that out. But for now, that's my wiring done. I have to come back and test tape this all up nice and neat, make a good loom out of it, but for now it's all functional, so that's where I wanted to get to today. Alright, thanks very much. If anyone's got any hints, suggestions, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.